Well, you may think that you're looking at me, but you're not. You are looking at my next project. Mackenzie just keeps me just building this and building that. So this time she's got this mirror. This mirror right here. She wants me to build a frame around it. It's a pretty big and heavy mirror. It's 1/4 inch thick, 5 feet long, 3 feet wide, and she wants to put it on the floor. The wood that she selected, because of the finish, I didn't think was going to be strong enough to hold it. So now I've came up with a plan. Okay, here is the wood that she has picked out because of this finish. But if you look, it is particle board with a sticker on it. I didn't think it was strong enough to hold that wood or that mirror. So here's what I'm going to do. I'll take these 1x4s right here, and I will build the frame that the mirror sits in with this. And then I'll take her boards and sit on top of it and use it for the dressing out. Now granted, I will have to finish the side here, but I have stain to do that with. So actually the cradle of the mirror, kind of hard holding this camera. The cradle of the mirror will be this 1x4 right here. And what I'll do, and I've kind of already set my saw up. I set it up because it's a 1/4 inch thick. I went 3/8 because there's paneling I'm going to use for the backing of the mirror. So I will cut 1 inch, 1 inch wide, and then I'll make another pass with it on the side and cut this groove and actually make the cradle for that mirror to sit in. It'll be, I'm going to go in an inch, yeah, an inch, and it'll be 3/8 deep. So I'm going to cut those and we'll see how it comes out. Hope this works. Well, here we are back at the wood shop in the attic. So what I did is I took those 1x4s and I cut this angle out of it. The mirror will actually sit in here and it will be covered by that fancy board trim. I got 2 6-footers, 2 4-footers, cut them all the same, set up my saw so it's all the same. Now you want to see what it looks like? Okay. There's Brody again. See how that sits? And I've got either a piece of paneling and a piece of cardboard over there that's going to go behind it, which will raise that up and make that flush. It's got a little bit of a lip to it. And then this piece, and I cut them together. I cut them together so that they are exactly the same. See how that lays down on top of there? Only 3 more sides to go. Now, one thing I did find out is when you cut your, let's call it the seat board, you cut it, you measure it at where your groove is, where your seat is. So in other words, like this one, I measured from this point, and then I measured down, and that's where I cut. See, I measured at this point. Pull this out a little bit. Measure that for your glass. Not this and not this. Then you measure it down, and then that's the same thing. You measure it to this point where your seat is, not the end, not the short ends, not the long ends, where that groove is. And it came right out. Came out perfect. Couldn't ask for any better. So now I got 3 more to cut. 2 sides and a bottom. So here we go. Well, here's my frame. And it is solid, baby. Look at this. That waltz a little bit. Now, what I did for this frame was I needed to reinforce it just a little bit. So I took some wooden dowels and I drilled a hole right here and glued in the wooden dowel to give it a little bit more strength. And then put a big screw in there. And it goes in this way. And then I took a big long screw and I put it in this way. Excuse me. Now what I'll do with those holes is I'll take some sawdust that I've got in the other room and mix it with a little glue, and I'll put that in the holes to cover the screw holes, so you'll never know that it's there. Now, this thing's getting done today. Now I put the cardboard in, and then I put the mirror in, and hopefully it all fits. It's square, every corner is square, so in theory it should be ready to go. So let's make us a mirror sandwich. It fits. I had to do a lot of freaking manipulating into this thing, because whoever cut this, I don't think they cut it straight. But it's in there, pretty flush. So then when I put that decorative board around it, see, it really doesn't matter what this looks like, because it's going to be all hidden. Could be a little bit lower, but I think we'll be all right. I want it fitting snug. I don't want it fucking walking around in there. All right. So now I got to take that glass out one more time, and I didn't use the cardboard. I used a piece of paneling that I had. That paneling will support that thing a little bit better. I'm really thinking about putting something in the middle of it too, but I'm going to take a break, and then we'll see what happens after that. Okay, so I was having trouble with this being kind of floppy around in here because of the flex. I used flex glue here. Whoa. I put window pane triangles all around. So I was trying to figure out how I could keep this thing from tipping like this. So what I did is the trim, or the extra wood that I cut here, that was that trough that this mirror's sitting in, I took it and lined it around the outside. So Now, when you put this up here, it actually frames that mirror out pretty good because it tilts it up, gives it, well, it's not lined up, but it tilts it up to where this part here is touching the glass. It's not wobbly, and it gives it kind of a, it frames out the mirror real good because it tilts it towards the mirror, which will help hold it in, and I think it looks better once I get this here lined up. It'll line up a lot better when I get it all situated. The corners come together. Gotta sand this one down because that one's a little thicker, but other than that, I think it's gonna be just fine. Still gotta fill the holes on the sides, and then I'll have to stain this other piece right here. But it makes it look thicker. I think it looks nice. Well, let's get these boards down. There it is. Got it all clamped down. I haven't taken the clamps off, but I put against the glass, because see now remember that board, so this tips in. So I put flex glue along this edge, and I used power grab on this edge here. Kind of bothers me that none of it squirted out. Hope it should be touching. So there it is. As soon as I get all that off, then I'll take and wipe some stain on here. Stain it a little bit on this board right here. I've already kind of stained that one, but I gotta put some stain on that so it don't show up. And man, she thought this son of a gun was heavy before. This thing weighs a ton. It's gonna take a super strong wall. She says she's just gonna sit it on the floor, I hope, because dang, this son of a gun's heavy. Alright, I don't like the fact that some of the boards, when I clamped them down, the dang corners moved. But for the most part, they're good. Well, we take the clamps off tomorrow, I guess, and we'll find out if it holds. It'll hold. It'll hold. I ain't worried. Here it is, all done. I put some reinforcement screws in the back of it, but it's all done. Whew, out of breath from cleaning it. Ain't it pretty? Yep. Mackenzie brought me a $40 mirror. I've turned it into every bit of a $200 mirror with about, I don't know, $30 worth of work materials. This thing is solid, and it's got some weight to it, that's for sure. But now she's got to go home. I called her because I don't know if it's too many paranormal shows or exactly what it is, but when I first pulled it out of the other room, my lights flashed. And you know, the saying with mirrors is, you know, they don't forget everything they've seen. But anyway, that's probably just too many paranormal shows. But she's all done. I'm done talking to her, I guess. So another project done. Now let's see what Mackenzie's got for me next.